Vader. Darth Vader. You've got to calm down.
I wanted to fight him. Just one.
I know. That's what we all wanted. Okay, I'm gonna try and calm him down. While I do that, let's roll the titles. Kapow! Just as a warning, this video will contain spoilers for Star Wars Rebels Season 3, specifically the episode Twin Suns, also spoilers for Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. But that movie's been out for 18 years, so I probably didn't need to warn you about that. Do I need to warn them about that? No, okay, yeah, we're good. So Darth Maul died. For real this time. Probably. I mean, fans have brought him back before, and I feel like if we all tried really hard, he could still be Supreme Leader Snoke. Wink. So let's talk about the fight itself. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really appropriate, and I know some people are disappointed because of how fast everything happened, especially because there was such a great build-up, but I thought it was very true to the characters, I thought it worked for the story, and most importantly, I really enjoyed it because it was quite realistic. It was over really quickly after such a massive build-up, but that's just what happens in life sometimes. I mean, hopefully not the wanting revenge on someone for almost 30 years and then going to kill them and then dying yourself part. But what I'm saying is I feel like you could apply what happened to many phases in life. Hopefully that makes sense. I guess the best way to explain my feelings on the fight is that for me it was kind of like a roller coaster. You spend a really long time in the queue, and the more and more you move towards the front, the more excited you get. And then for the roller coaster ride itself, it's not actually that long, but it's still very enjoyable and very satisfying. And I think that's the best analogy I've ever come up with in my life. So, yes. And satisfying, I think, is a wonderful word for the fight. I felt very satisfied. I wasn't sure what was going to happen going into it, and then once everything unfolded before me, I was like, of course, that makes sense. I'm glad they went in this direction. Now, as much as I enjoyed the conclusion to Maul's storyline, I thought it was very appropriate, I thought it was very fitting, it made sense. I am still a little bit sad that we never got to see Maul fight Vader. Now, I'm not too upset about this, but I imagine there will be some Star Wars fans that will be. From a storytelling point of view, it makes sense that those two never fought. There was never any reason for them to do so, and it just makes sense. But I still really wanted to see it. One thing I think that's important to keep in mind though, is that even if we had seen Maul fight Vader in Star Wars Rebels, it wouldn't have been quite what we wanted. And the reason I say that is because Maul is in a really bad place in Star Wars Rebels. He is a broken man, and he is not at his peak like he was in The Phantom Menace. And I think what a lot of us really want to see is Darth Maul at his peak fight with Darth Vader at his peak. And sadly, that was never going to happen because of the time periods in which they're set. However, I think the greatest tragedy about Darth Maul is the fact that he has had such a great storyline, just not in the movies. Allow me to elaborate just a little bit. Now, the internet's a pretty scary place, especially if you want to talk about the prequel trilogy of Star Wars. But I think one thing that we can all agree on is that Darth Maul was by far the best thing about Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. I feel like one of the greatest challenges in preparing for the prequel trilogy would have been to come up with a villain that could rival Darth Vader. And then there was Darth Maul. Someone with the presence of Darth Vader, but with the mystery of Boba Fett. Another villain with a unique and awesome appearance, but in a very different way. A villain with a double-sided lightsaber. In my opinion, this was a villain that could rival Darth Vader. And then they killed him off. Now I know what you're thinking, no, they didn't kill him off, he came back in the Clone Wars. Let me tell you something. When Obi-Wan Kenobi sliced through Darth Maul, the writers weren't thinking, oh, this is gonna be so cool when we bring him back in 10 years and reveal that he's still alive. No, the writers were thinking, he's dead, he's gone, bye-bye! The most depressing part is that Darth Maul just stood there as Obi-Wan Kenobi leaped above him. It's almost like he knew he had to die because he read it in the script, like, oh well, that was a really good fight, but I guess I'm dead because the script says I'm dead. Can't do anything here, and oh, I'll be honest, I think I was more upset about Darth Maul's death than Qui-Gon's. Darth Maul killing Qui-Gon Jinn, the mentor War to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin makes a lot of sense. Darth Maul immediately dying after that doesn't make as much sense. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Darth Maul surviving would have fixed the entire prequel trilogy, I'm not saying that at all, but I think it might have made it a little bit better. Now don't get me wrong, I love Count Dooku, but sometimes he can be a little bit too similar to Palpatine for my liking, whereas Darth Maul seemed very different, and there seemed to be a nice contrast there. Now obviously we don't know too much about Darth Maul as far as the movies are concerned, because like I said before, when he was first introduced he was a mysterious character, and he was killed before we could really learn anything about him. Now obviously the Clone Wars and Rebels have allowed a wonderful opportunity for us to see Darth Maul develop and grow as a character and gain a little bit more of a personality, because obviously in The Phantom Menace he didn't have much of a personality. He was just kind of a bad guy who was out to kill the good guys. But it would have been interesting to explore that character more in future movies. And while I am thankful that we got to explore his character in the TV shows, I am sad that we didn't get to do so in the movies, because I feel like that would have benefited the movies greatly, and I also think it would have made Darth Maul a much more iconic character. I don't think Darth Maul is as iconic as Darth Vader, but I think had he been a part of the other movies in the prequel trilogy, he might have been. He might have been as iconic as Darth Vader. We don't know. And that's the thing, we really don't know. Darth Maul might have been one of the best villains on the big screen of all time, and he might have provided a lot of character development for both Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, because Qui-Gon was a mentor to both of them, so it would have been interesting to see them interact with Darth Maul in the movies. I know that we got that in the TV show. Also, one of the reasons why I think it would have been quite cool to see Darth Maul's character progress in the movies is because obviously the prequel trilogy was focusing on Anakin Skywalker becoming Darth Vader. So it's likely that we would have seen Darth Maul at his peak fight Darth Vader at his peak. And not only that, but had Darth Maul have starred in the other movies, in a best case scenario he might have become as iconic as Darth Vader, so that matchup would mean a lot more. But obviously the flip side is they might have ruined Darth Maul's character completely, and I know that that's definitely something that could have happened. So maybe what happened was for the best, I guess we'll never know. But his story was a good one, and like I say, the only reason I wanted him to be in the other movies is because I think they would have been better had he been in them, and I also think it's a shame that a lot of people don't know about the rest of Darth Maul's story, because a lot of people only watch the movies, and a lot of people won't watch the TV shows, so a lot of people think Darth Maul has been dead for almost 20 years and are probably wondering what the heck I'm even talking about. But that's okay, because not even I know most of the time. But regardless, I'm happy that the fandom was able to bring Darth Maul back. I'm not sure if that has officially been recognised, but I feel like unofficially that is what happened. And it gives me hope that one day we can even bring back Porkins.
That's right. I never got to fight Porkins one-on-one.
Well, thank you for watching, and join us again tomorrow for another Geek Day Weekday. Come on, let's watch the end of Rogue One. That always cheers you up.